Welcome to the Goodwin Boxing Show, where Steve is away on holiday. So, unfortunately, I'm stuck with the new British middleweight champion, Brad Pauls. Brad, how are you? We're doing this Wednesday. You're a few days out and removed from your victory Saturday night. We've just been catching up, but you're in one piece, right?
Yeah, I'm good. It sounds amazing when you introduce me like that. It's such a good feeling. But yeah, I'm really good. Been really busy, great response, and a lot of support. And I am a media. Can I swear on this?
Yeah, go for it.
Probably. I'm a media whore at the minute, so I'm doing all the interviews I can. But like I was saying, it's a good problem to have, and yeah, it's been non-stop since. It's been a great response. So yeah, happy days.
Yeah, I've heard you on Talk Sport. I've heard you on George Groves. I've heard you in so many different places. And I just, every time I see you and hear you there, I think it's the same Brad that was sort of, we were just saying, it had to sell tickets sort of 16 fights ago. And so to have this problem, I appreciate you're probably knackered from Saturday night still, but what a beautiful problem to have, in that you're demanded in various places.
Yeah, that's it. I've had the other side of the coin, so to speak, in different ways. I've had it on small hall where no one even knows you, and I've had it after a loss where you walk past the media team and they all sort of look away and no one wants to interview you, and it's dead awkward. So, yeah, I'm happy to have this problem and get all these interviews, so I'll enjoy them.
So, yeah, I mean, we're here on Goodwin Boxing, right? So we're not necessarily going to talk just about Saturday night, but I thought it was important we take a bit of a journey back from Saturday night to sort of 2015. So your pro debut was in 2015. I was reading an interview you and I did back in 2015, which was before your pro debut. And interestingly, in it, you talked about winning the Southern Area and the English title. There was no reference to the British in there at the time.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, this is Brad of 9 years ago and sort of preparing to sell tickets, preparing to go on that journey. But even at that point, there was no mention of the British title, but the others. So on that basis alone, do you think you've exceeded what your initial goals in the sport were?
Yeah, definitely. I would always say I'm a massive overachiever. I remember that interview as well. Was it Goodwin's house, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, is it Goodwin's house? And I was all excited and that, and I couldn't even believe I was getting interviewed by anyone. And yeah, all them excited feelings. But I remember it at the time, because how much can you possibly know? Like, I'd had 56 amateurs, or I'd won a national title, but that doesn't guarantee you a British title. And I, up until this moment, I was absolutely buzzing to be English champion. I'm not mistaken. I'm no Mayweather who's going to go unify all the world titles and stuff like that. I know what I am. But yeah, I'd say slightly overachieve of a British title. I'm not probably the most talented boxer ever. I'm not the biggest middleweight. I'm a little bit strong and very stubborn, and I don't give up. So yeah, so I think a British title is a bit of an overachievement in my eyes.
In that sense, and I was saying this to somebody after the weekend, you and Nathan Heaney have got so many parallels, in that he probably says the same thing about himself. In fact, he does say the same thing about himself. And like that journey that you two have been on through those two fights, he was a massive ticket seller in small hall boxing, sort of got his opportunity. Do you think you have as much a respect for sort of the 24 rounds that you've been in together, as much as you both are gritty, determined, perhaps not the most talented in the world, but two tough, hard, determined men that can take a punch, can give a punch, and have come from a hard journey to get there?
Yeah, definitely. Like with a lot of the fighters, it's hard to not like them or respect them because you're so similar. And especially me and Nathan, I said it in the build-up in the first fight, like, there's going to be no trash talk because we're more similar than we are different. We both love where we come from. We both built a fan base from the small hall all the way up. Slight overachievers. No sort of trash talky sort of people. So it was hard not to like him or respect him, at least, because we're very similar. Obviously, in the second fight, it was a little bit different. There was a little bit of animosity and aggression and stuff like that. It changed a little bit, but really deep down, yeah, a lot more in common than different. So you got to respect people like that.
Yeah. Touch on Cornwall quickly, because for those that, I mean, probably everyone who saw your fight sees you go and get the black and white flag straight after. But why is it? Because I'm not from Cornwall. I don't understand the attachment to it. What is it to you that means so much? Because you've been literally flying that flag for all of the time that I've known you. So what is it that makes it so special about that Cornwall attachment, and why are you so proud of it?
I suppose it's a little bit different. Like in England, people don't have as much pride of where they're from unless the football's on. But in Cornwall, it's different. It's a little bit like Wales and Scotland. We're a Celtic nation. We have our individuality. We have our own language, our own flag, our own culture, so to speak. And I think it's important to be proud of where you're from, because why wouldn't you be? It's one of the most beautiful places in the country. The people here are lovely, and you've got to represent where you're from, because it's a massive part of who you are. And I think that's lost a little bit in England. You don't get it as much. But I feel like in Cornwall, I don't know, it's okay to do that. So yeah, I'm just proud. I just love where I'm from, and obviously I've had to move away from here to chase the dream. So yeah, I'm even probably more fond of it than most people because I've gone without it. So yeah, I think that's why I'm just a proud Cornishman. I just love this place. Lovely.
It's interesting, isn't it? As soon as you won the title, you didn't go back to Essex, you went back to Cornwall. and
Great way, yeah.
go and show the belt off down there.
Yeah.
It was interesting, again, going back through sort of all the years that I've known you and seen you develop and build that fan base. You know, Nathan's got the reputation, and deservedly and brilliantly so, for building that huge fan base. You don't have a small fan base, and that was evident on Saturday night. But some of that comes back to, and I know you can't have a fight down in Newquay because of the hospital situation and because of the availability of certain services. But then there have been alternatives that have gone through the years, right? So I go back to 2016 when you fought Dan Blackwell down at Torquay Conference Centre.
Yeah.
Sort of, you've had those opportunities, haven't you? And that's, I guess, come through Steve sort of trying to find the ways to get you as close to Newquay as possible. You sort of had those opportunities and built that, or given your fans that opportunity to come and see you slightly closer to home. How fondly do you look back on sort of Torquay Conference Centre, the fights in Plymouth as well? Those seem a long time ago, but they're so important on that journey.
Yeah, they're such good memories. For me, like there's mad amount of stories of the stuff we've got up to before and after Linus coming down to watch, and my whole team coming there and putting Terry in a really rubbish hotel and him kicking off, and it's good to see like the contrast of it, the lowest possible level you can probably get to what I've just done. But yeah, it's some of the best memories, and it was really important for me to do that because it gives people the chance to support me. And if I just carried on boxing in London the whole time, which it did happen, the ticket sales died down. People can't travel 5 hours and stay in a hotel every time. There was times I'd boxed a few times in a row at York Hall, and I remember it cost me £400 to box. So I'd lost money, and after a really hard camp, and I was like, all right, well, next one will be better. And I boxed 4 months later, and it cost me £40. And I was a little bit like, what am I doing? And at the time, all my pals were buying houses and starting businesses and doing really well. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, I'm not getting anywhere. Like, I was skinned. I was paying money to fight. And I was like, is it going to work? Like, is this actually the right thing to do? But you just got to keep the faith and trust that it will all come good and just be stubborn, I suppose. But yeah, it's some journey.
Yeah, it's that stubbornness that we saw Saturday night that has to exist outside of the ring as much as in it. It's interesting. I was listening to you on the George Groves podcast this week, and you were talking about the time you and Groves were sparring and the shot that he caught you with. And I remember hearing about that at the time. And those things must go with you through your journey as well, because I've been in the gym with you. I've sparred you and trained with you, and seeing you through all those. I've seen you drop people in the gym. I won't name any names, but like all of that journey is just incredible to culminate on Saturday night. But again, I'll go back to 2017, the Robbie Chapman fight down in Plymouth. That was your first title fight as well, the Southern Area one. Again,
Yeah,
that opportunity to take it on the road and give your fans from Cornwall a slightly nearer journey than, as you say, coming up to London.
yeah, yeah. It's massively important. I think that's a good thing about Steve Goodwin is how he does it. He fully prepares you for these title shots, and even further back than that, I boxed Diego Burton in a Southern Area title eliminator. I stopped him in the ninth, but I didn't box that well. Didn't, but like you need to do them things to get to the position that I'm into. Like you can't just automatically be ready for what I did on Saturday. It's not possible. You have to have all them little experiences on the way up. And Steve is the master at getting you from debut, the master at Southern Area, the master at English, and then British. He is the master. I couldn't be more prepared because we go through the process strategically. And yeah, that's Steve's system works. He's the best at it, and I'm so glad I've been with Steve. It's an individual sport, but you're not doing it on your own by any means. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's good to have someone like Steve helping me out.
Yeah, and it was lovely seeing on Saturday night those people in the ring with you. Steve couldn't be there, but you had Josh there with you.
Hmm.
Then you had Linus there, who, you and Linus are like two brothers that are stuck in a gym, walloping one another 5 days a week, training as hard as you can. Linus is on his own journey as well, and I've no doubt whatsoever he'll hold that same title you've got one day.
Yeah,
But also Ellis in there, and Ellis, we've sort of known Ellis since he was a teenager. And Terry, obviously Terry Stewart being in there with you, and the fact that you've been with these people through losses, you've been with them through a draw, you've been with them from day one. Like, how special was it to share that moment with each of them?
oh, amazing! It's like your family. Like I've seen Linus and Terry and Ellis more than probably my own mum and dad. But definitely, but maybe even my whole life because that's day in day out for the last 9 years. I've seen them so much, and that is your boxing family, and they go through it with you. They're in the gym with you. They go through the struggles with you. They see all the pain, all the little you have injuries in camp. You have this, and they're there with you. So they're very much attached to it. You can see the emotion from them as well on Saturday because they've seen how hard it is, and especially Linus, he knows how hard it is. Um, yeah, and I don't know if I could do it without Linus. Like
Yeah.
to have actually that sparring in the gym constantly for the last 9 years, and you have to. Any boxer would know you have to train with better people to constantly progress and get better. And Linus has given me that. I've learned so many things from that man. He is such a talented fighter, and it would be a massive underachievement if he just gets the English. He's way better than that. He's too good to only get the English. He's one of the best boxers I've ever trained with my whole entire life, and I'm so happy now because he's got things set up where he's going to go and do well, and he's had it tough, but it's the gym's pumping, and you might know this, Martin. So I was saying, has it ever happened in the gym that you've had a middleweight British English, and then if Ellis gets to Southern Area, all that in the same gym? I don't know if it's happened, but it's pretty mad. It's pretty
Yeah,
mad if it does.
not to my knowledge, but somebody else out there might be able to correct me. But it's not far away from happening, is it? Let's be honest. Ellis is sort of on his own journey as well, and not far from that Southern Area level.
Yep.
Linus has got stuff lined up that sort of, I'm sure you're as aware of as I am, that hopefully will be coming off this year, which positions him for, the bigger and better titles as well. After that, as you say, it'll be an absolute underachievement if he doesn't do that, and I'm sure he will achieve massive things. But you said earlier about you've overachieved to the point that you're at, potentially. I think that's you being very humble about it, because I remember sitting with Brooke Stretfield, and shout out to Brooke, down at York Hall ringside for a couple of your fights, and you and Linus sort of so early on in that journey, and the pair of you stood out a country mile as being different to some of the other small hall talents that you see. And we'd sort of picked you two out back then as like these two. I'd tell anyone that listen, these two will pick up British titles. So your humbleness around it, And I go back to Denzel Bentley when he won the British and then got the shot at Janabek, sorry, for a world title. Has that crossed your mind at all? Like that Denzel Bentley journey where you got to go out to Vegas on the back of picking up the British. Has that even for a second sort of entered your mind?
It has.
Yeah,
It has.
I'm not surprised.
It has. You can't help it. You have to have a little look. So I didn't know. So I was doing another interview and I was like, "Oh, who's the WBA world champion?" So I thought it was Janabek. It's not. It's Erislandy Lara.
And then it's Charles Adames is the WBC, maybe.
I think so. Yeah. So it'll be one of. And obviously they're all hard fights, but it'll be one of those. But I said to Tel, I was like, I'd do it if they offered me that fight in Vate or whatever, in Janabek or anyone, I'll take it. I mean, you'd be stupid not to. That's bucket list dream sort of stuff, and it's quite smart what Denzel done because he went and boxed Janabek, lost on points, but he still kept his British title.
Yeah.
Come back and go domestic. So if that was a possibility, I would absolutely bite someone's hand off for it. A little Cornishman in Vegas for a bomb.
Do they fly to Vegas out of Cornwall Airport?
There'll have to be some connecting flights there, Martin, I think. Yeah, that'd be some story, wouldn't it? But yeah, it's not out of the question, is it? It's possible. It's possible.
It's not at all. And as you say, they are all hard fights, but with the greatest of respect, none of them are Canelo, none of them are Golovkin in their prime. They're winnable fights. I don't think anyone, after seeing you on Saturday night, would say Brad hasn't got a chance against any of those. You haven't been dropped in your fights through your career.
Yeah.
You've won 3 titles. You've knocked out every opponent for a title. You can clearly punch. There's clearly danger with you. Nobody could rule you out if you got those fights.
Yeah, there's a chance, and that Lara's 41 years old.
Yeah,
it's possible.
Yeah,
good
I need to be out there as your hype. I need to be out there as your hype man, Brad. I'm going to be out there.
All out video, I think that's the only way it's going to
happen. So, what's the plan now? You are back home in Cornwall. You're down at New KFC last night, was it, with the belt?
Yeah.
Is there a danger and a risk? I know you're a young, fit man. I'm an old, unfit man, so we see things through different lenses. Is there a risk you wear yourself out over the next week or so, sort of doing all this, or are you just riding the wave and enjoying it?
Just riding the wave. It's good energy. It's good energy. Yeah, I might repeat myself and have the same conversation 50 times, but yeah, I'm happy to be having it. And it's something I've got to do. But it's only 1 week, and it'll die down. We get a few free meals out of it, which is quite nice. Some nice perks. But yeah, enjoying my downtime, and I don't think I'll fight until maybe November-ish time. So there's a bit of time to get this sort of stuff done, and yeah, just be a normal person for a couple of weeks because the fights were pretty close-ish together. I had about a week bit off and then went straight back in. So yeah, just chill out for a little bit, and I don't drink anymore, so I just tend to get back to training anyway. Probably start running Saturday to get bored, and then just keep it going. It's good.
Have there been discussions about the next fight, or is that leave it, park it for a week or so?
No, instantly. He said, "Oh, trilogy," and I was like, "Absolutely! Like you did it for me with the rematch, and if you want to do it, I'll do it 100%." I think Frank tweeted it, mentioned about the trilogy. I'd happily do it. I don't know, like maybe he said on the night trilogy and that. Whether he actually really wants to do it, I don't know. So I suppose you'll have to wait and see what the team and stuff says. But even his coach was like, so I was seeing Nathan and that, and I'm seeing his coach and was like, mate, like respect, like good fight and that. And he was like, enjoy it while it lasts.
Good on him. Good on him.
Guess he wants to do it then. I guess he wants to do it then. But yeah.
Have you? I know we're just saying about sort of the potential and having that eye on the biggest fights, not even the bigger fights. But is there a little part of you now that you've got this affiliation with Frank Warren? I don't know the ins and outs of the contract with it, and it's not my business. But is there one part of you that looks at it and goes, Frank's got this Saudi arrangement. I'm an exciting fighter. Get me on a plane.
Hey, for the money they're paying, I'd fight my own mum in Saudi.
Mrs. Pauls, he absolutely won't.
For the money they're paying, every man's got a price. Listen, I haven't made mass amounts of money in my career, and it'd be nice to walk away with boxing with something that would make my life easier. So, I guess Saudi would do that, and if they offered anything, I would really consider it.
Yeah, yeah, and I know you haven't necessarily sort of made the money we're talking about of Anthony Joshua and co with their careers, but again, I was having this conversation with somebody the other day with the whole Saudi setup. There's such a focus upon those mega fights, super fights. So there's almost like a dilution of what it means to be a British champion. And I always get excited by those that have come from the bottom to go up to it rather than sort of land there and then work their way up. So it's so exciting having sort of seen your journey firsthand. It's just been incredible. And so even if you don't leave with millions of pounds from the sport, I hope and I trust you leave with a legacy down in Cornwall, and B, memories and just achievements that so many will never ever get, and that should never be overlooked.
Yeah, I think so. I think what I've done so far is obviously cemented in the history books, and obviously I'm super motivated. I want to achieve more, but there's a little part of me that's sort of content, like no one can take it away from you. Like I said, I've slightly overachieved, and it's a nice thought that there's more to come. But if it was all to stop tomorrow, I think I've done enough to have some sort of Cornish legacy, because there was zero. I'm up against nothing. So, but yeah, like, it'd be nice to do something absolutely wild like that, fight out in Saudi or Vegas, or see what happens. Have a chat with Turkey and see if we can be pals. But
is there a risk? You mentioned it a couple of times there about almost like a contentment of winning the British title. Is there a risk that you get that and then lose some of the drive and determination? Because as you say, you've sort of achieved perhaps more than you ever set out to do. Do you see that there's any risk of it, or as you said, you'll be back on the road running on Saturday, and that drive and determination just needs to kick back in again, and then it's defend it 3 times or whatever the next goal is.
I suppose it's moving the goalposts at all times, because like you said with that first interview, Southern Air in English at first, do you know what I mean? And then the goalposts move and the motivation stays. And I suppose the same will happen again. I'm not the sort of person to like slack off from that. I'm just not my style. Like, I'll just do it my best every time, regardless. I think I don't have it in me to, and as well, I don't want to get. Boxing's not like that. You can't take your eye off the ball. You'll get beaten up. Like, I'm not good enough to start slacking in that. I've got to graft my ass off. So yeah, it'll be a new challenge, and I'll be full of motivation because there'll be something else to gain. Yeah, and it's exciting. There's so many options, and God knows where it's going to land on, but it's going to be something interesting, I'm sure.
When that contract says world title Las Vegas, then that motivation will kick back in, right?
Yeah, yeah. My name up in lights in Vegas. There's a little corner tag at the bottom, and
Well,
then yeah,
I'm not going to. I'm not going to ask you what the next fight will be because I know that's all sort of going to be sorted in due course. But for now, you just go and enjoy being a local hero. And I can promise you as well, I need to give a shout out to my friend James Sunderland, who he's up in Burnley and he was over the moon on Saturday night. He'd listened to the podcast that we've done for years and years and years and was aware of you from that. And he asked me when I speak with you, give him a shout out. So you've got fans up in Burnley, Brad, that were Saturday night pinned to their.
Spreading the words, Martin. It's good. We're going national.
Yeah, he was pinned to his sofa cheering you on, as a lot of people were. So yeah,
Amazing, mate.
So yeah, James Sunderland. There you go. It's Brad. Brad acknowledges you as a new Burnley fan.
Nice one, James. Top man. More to come.
Excellent. So, Brad, yeah, congratulations. Again, another piece of history is you're the first Goodwin boxer that has been taken from debut through to British title as well.
Yeah,
Massive.
because they've had other ones that were something else, not from debut, didn't they?
Yeah, so they've had Frank Buglioni won it against Hosea Burton. Zach Chelly, current super middleweight British champion. But you're the first one that's been taken from debut through to being British champion. So
proven formula, proven Goodwin formula works. It's there. We've done it.
You are the proof. You are literally the proof.
Proof. I'm the proof. Brad the proof. Go.
There you go. Yeah, Brad the proof Pauls. There you go. That's the next ring moniker. Brad, I'm going to leave you to it to go and enjoy Cornwall, enjoy the beautiful area, beautiful people, enjoy your beautiful belt, and just embrace it. And yeah, like when it all dies down, enjoy the calm. But for now, just you look like you're a man who's happy and content and embracing it.
Yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing, mate, on cloud 9, and yeah, everything that works for. And yeah, cheers for being there, supporting Martin all them years. You've seen it closer than anyone, so you know the struggles, mate. But we got there in the end.
Yeah.
Got there in the end. More to come, mate.
Literally my pleasure to watch it. So yeah, you're a star, man. You're an absolute star. So yeah, congratulations, Brad. From everyone at Goodwin Boxing and boxing fans, I've not seen a bad word said about you from any fans. Everybody loved the fight. Like you've cemented yourself for everything that we've known about for years. So that's the most exciting thing to me.
Yeah, it's brilliant, mate. Yeah, it's been good. More to come. More to come. See you in Vegas.
Brad, enjoy Cornwall, enjoy the belt, enjoy being you and the superstar that you are and have become, man. So congratulations again.
Thank you, Martin. Top man. I'll speak to you soon. Cheers, mate.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.